So how do you go from starting to being in a situation where you have ongoing referrals and have ongoing relationships with other people in the industry? This is what I would say. Start with what you're afraid of. Everybody's afraid that they're not going to be able to do good updos. And you have to have that confidence. You have to be able to step up with confidence that you are going to make somebody amazing on their wedding day. They're going to feel amazing and look amazing. So if what you're afraid of is being able to do a decent updo or not getting lost in the work, then my first recommendation to you is to spend the money, make the investment, get a really high quality mannequin, long hair. You need to practice, engage in what it is that you want to create on a regular basis. But once you've got that down, you've got a couple of looks to play with, then start looking for your friend that has a lot of followers on Instagram, or your friend that just particularly has beautiful hair, and translate some of these looks you've created on a mannequin onto real hair and start putting them in your social media. Start building your online portfolio with actual updos. Okay, so if somebody says, do you do updos, or I'm looking to hire somebody to do my wedding, and you're engaged in that conversation, I guarantee you they're gonna wanna see some of your work, or they're gonna look at your social media, and if all they see is balayage, then how can they trust that you know what you're doing? And it's not just with the bride. This is really important for your vendors as well. If a wedding planner is gonna refer a hairdresser, and she's heard through the grapevine or somehow found her way to you, and she's gonna refer her client to you over somebody else that she normally refers to, because they all have vendors that they work with. If she's gonna refer to you, she's gonna look at your Instagram, and if there's no updos on there, that might be the reason she just swipes right over. So the very first thing to do is to start working on a mannequin and build your confidence, and then don't post pictures of mannequin updos on social media. It has to be a real person. Then you get your friend or somebody that you know, or even the last client of every day, or if you have a cancellation and your client happens to have long, pretty hair, be like, hey, I've been playing around doing a lot of updo work. Can I do something fun and red carpet on you today? Just play and engage in doing the actual work, and then put that online portfolio out there so people can see it. That's step one. Step two, you need some actual experience being a part of the event. In your town or in your market, no matter where you are, right now there are hairdressers that are specializing in weddings, and they are getting a ton of referrals. It's really important that you seek these people out. They're not hard to find. You can search your hashtags in the area. You can Google your zip code with wedding specialist. You'll find hairdressers that have the word out there that this is what they do. Give them a call. Tell them that you love working with formal hair. Tell them that you're really wanting to get into this business, and tell them that you really would love to work with them. Tell them you saw their Instagram and you find their work inspiring. This is important. Every hairdresser that works weddings is going to find themselves in a situation where they have been yes, 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 all the way through the process, and have put themselves in a place where they need extra hands. I can tell you how many times we work a wedding where there's supposed to be 15 bridesmaids, and I've got 4.5 hours to do them all, and then something changes last minute, and now I only have 2.5 hours to do them all. And they're willing to pay me whatever I need to be paid, but they have to do it in 2.5 hours. I need extra hands. If you just put yourself out there to people that are already doing weddings in the business, and you tell them, anytime you need me, you call. Once you have a few weddings under your belt, you need to start generating that inflow of conversation, of referrals. We need to have people walking through the door saying, I want to schedule you for a wedding. So how do you do that? We don't want to invest a lot of money up front in advertising, and honestly, like if you were to advertise that you are really good with haircuts, do you think that would really bring people in? Not necessarily. It just doesn't work for us. However, it does really work for wedding planners, for makeup artists, for photographers, for the cake guys, for the linen people, for the event space. All of these people advertise. The three most important people I would say to build a relationship with are your makeup artist, your photographer, and your wedding planner. So if you go online, let's say theknot.com, there's 100 of them, but let's just say The Knot, and you look at photographers, makeup artists, or wedding planners that are in your area that are advertising, these are the people you want to reach out to. These are the people you want to reach out and say, hey, I love your work. I've seen some of your stuff online. If you ever need a hairdresser to be on location, we are available for that. And then start working on a deal. So what we did at the very beginning when we had a few weddings under our belt, we talked to a couple of wedding planners and makeup artists, both. Photographers came after, something different for them. Anybody that you send me, I will give you a 10% kickback on what I make providing that service. So this is kind of a big deal, you know. Wedding planners are already on a budget, and if they're sending you that business, just 10% return. So let's say we do a wedding for $1,500, it's only $150. But that's a huge deal for them. It shows appreciation, it shows respect, and most likely, they're the ones that are gonna give you the opportunity to send business. They're the ones that are gonna have opportunity to send you business before you do. Every bride that comes to us always already has a wedding planner. Nobody sits in my chair and says, hey, I'm so glad we're hiring you for our wedding, but do you have a wedding planner you can refer me to? Nobody says that. They all already have it. In fact, it's my experience that the hairdresser is usually the last person they hire because they're nervous about it. Girls will seek out makeup artists long before they seek out a hairdresser. Why is that? I think it's because women know a little bit about doing makeup, right? So they know the goods and the bads, and they know if somebody is on point or not. But they don't necessarily know how to do a formal updo. You can't really do one on yourself. So there's a certain amount of anxiety of finding somebody, some vendor, to be able to be your hairdresser when you don't know anything about having a formal updo. You just have somewhat of an idea of what you think you would like. So makeup artists and wedding planners should be your best friends. This is where all your business is gonna come from. We also work a kickback out for the makeup artist as well. If the makeup artist sends us business, then we work that 10% right back to them. Again, it's not a lot, but I can't send them business. And usually when you work with somebody, sending business back and forth is what completes the relationship. Since I can't send them business, 10% of whatever they've sent me is a wonderful way to start building and forming that relationship.